Hey guys, so here we are at the start of a new round. Everything's been refreshed. Command points are the same as at the beginning because nobody got wounded or died. And drew back up to 5 order tiles. And then the last thing here is our discard pile. So Jen from Board Game Geek pointed out that that's supposed to be face down. And I checked the rulebook and they're right. So thank you very much for pointing that out because that's a mistake I would have definitely continued to have made. Alright, so let's get this started. So here's the board set up and we're on the Salamite player's turn. And we have to decide what we want to do. And I think it makes a lot of sense to send Zombie here to attack James Wu or to send Jess Hollister to do that. Now, I think Zombie would require 3 command points in order to get him close enough. And so that would be all he could do for this round. So what we'll do is we'll activate Jess Hollister and we'll use her instead to try and deal with James Wu. So she's been activated and she is in Vasquez's line of sight. It only makes sense for the NORAD player to duel if they think that they can get Vasquez around here to get a shot at Kendall. So that will require 2 movements and a shoot. And we don't have 2 movements for interrupts. So they'll let it go. So no interrupt and Jessica can resume. So she wants movement and a high gun value. And here's a great one. So she'll spend 1 command point on the movement, giving her 5. I don't know how close I want it. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and I think that'll be good. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that'll be good. I was looking because I want to make sure I get the targeting, and her gun automatically gives 2 spaces, so from there, the targeting will for sure be successful. 1, 2. Okay, and then I will spend 4 command points. One, 2, 3, 4 on the shoot order. So, first command point activates it, so we make sure there's line of sight, and of course there is, and so the points aren't wasted. And in terms of targeting, so Jess Hollister gives me 2 dice for targeting, and then this gun gives me an automatic 2 damage. Now what I'm going to do, so I don't risk running out of ammo, I'm actually going to choose to not roll dice, and you can do that for targeting, for this very reason. So I won't roll any dice, and the 2 damage, as we can before, will actually be enough to get me there. I will now spend my extra 3 command points to add dice to the damage part of this. So 3 extra dice on top of the default 2 dice because I have James Wu in Jessica's red zone. So 5 dice, and this could do some serious damage. Wow. Okay, so 2 automatic hits, so we count those first in case we can get James Wu to a lower defense value. 1, 2, not the case here. Then we do 5 more damage against his 3 armor. So 5 minus 3 is 2 more damage, which puts his life points to 0. So what that means is we will flip his card over, and he only has 3 more health left before he's dead and out of the game. So over to the NORAD side, we will activate James Wu, and he is in the line of sight of 2 characters, Kendall and Hollister. So either could interrupt, not both, but either. If we were to interrupt with Kendall, which would be ideal, we would want him to run away so that he can't get shot at. But unfortunately, they don't have any moves that can be used during interrupts. So he's ultimately useless. However, Hollister does have shoot that can be used during interrupt, and she actually has one already attached as well. And so she'll actually bid, she'll interrupt, and she'll bid 2 to try and accomplish this interruption. Just to do some more damage to Wu. It won't be enough to kill him, but it'll be enough to do some damage. And the NORAD player knows it's not enough for him to die, so he'll let it happen. So Jess Hollister, they reveal their bids, and the Salamite player wins it. So James Wu is on pause, while Jess Hollister attaches 1 more command point to the shoot order, and is hoping to do some damage. So first off we do targeting, but her gun gives her the 2 spaces required. Of course they have line of sight, so it's going through. With the targeting, the damage is going through, so we have a look at this red portion, and it'll be 2 dice up against James Wu's armor. So not bad, 3 damage against 2 armor, so 1 wound to James Wu. And that's all they're expecting. But it's a lot. Now he is one attack away from death for sure. He does, however, get to resume his turn, so what we want is just a touch of movement and a lot of firepower. So we'll do this one here. And the reason we want movement is because this gun has a spread. So if I were to shoot at Kendall for where I am, I would actually be hitting myself as well with 4 damage, so I'd actually kill myself. And you don't have a choice. You do all the adjacent squares as long as they can have an effect, which means as long as there's a character there, something that can be broken, such as these line of sight things or a door, so anything, you don't have a choice. A friendly character. So first I'll move just a bit, and my new movement value is 4, and that's more than enough. I just want to move 1 space here. And I'll do this to have line of sight. So I have line of sight with Hollister. So I do have line of sight with Kendall, because corners don't block line of sight, even though this one has the no line of sight. Corners won't block it. Unless, of course, this one also had no line of sight. Okay. And I will be attacking Kendall with the shoot order, so I'll spend 3 more points here on a shot that I hope does us some serious damage, because the NORAD side's in trouble. So his targeting is an automatic 2, which is enough to get there 1-2 without rolling this die, so I won't do that to avoid running out of ammo. Now I get 2 extra dice for the attack, and then because he's in my red section, and he's in the middle there, so red section, it'll be 3 more dice. So 5 dice, and hopefully we can do some damage to this guy. Not bad, really not the greatest, so 1 damage marker for sure, and then we'll take the 4 damage here and subtract it from his 2 armor. Do 2 more damage. It would have been nice to get him to his wounded side, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so not a terrible turn for James Wu. He's out of command point, so I wouldn't be surprised if he dies, unfortunately. One thing I forgot to do, as soon as I activate that shoot order, I need to spend one of my ammunitions, so he spent 2 of those so far. What a soldier. Going down for the team. Okay. Salamites, what are you going to do? James Wu still has line of sight on Kendall, however he can't spend any more attacks, so I think it's the time to move him. So high movement values, we got 2 here, and so it's going to have to be that. So activating Kendall, James Wu does have line of sight, but his max CP has been spent, so he won't do an interrupt, and we'll spend the 2 movement points, giving us 6 movement in total. And I'm actually going to walk beside James Wu just to sort of spit in his face, because he can interrupt. He doesn't have the command points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're getting close. He does have a key card, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 away from entering the chem lab and being home free. So yeah, that's all he'll do, and that's a solid turn. So he still has 4 command point maximum that's still available. Cool. Over to the NORAD side, it's up to Vasquez to try and stop him. So we'll activate her before I even know what tokens I have, and she's not in Hollister's line of sight. The white part is facing her, so no line of sight there. I want movement and definitely gunpowder. And this is going to be the one that does it. We'll do 1 movement at a time. 6 movement. 1, 2. I am adjacent, but there's no line of sight, so she can't interrupt. 3. 1, 2. So at 2, not quite. 3, 4. At 4, he does have line of sight, but there's no movement interrupt, so he wouldn't be able to do anything wise during the interrupt anyways. 4, and then I'm going to go 5 here. And again, he could interrupt to fight, and would he do that? No, he wouldn't. His fighting's awful. So 1 damage, which of course won't be enough. He'd do damage to himself, if anything. Okay, so Vasquez made it. She's in position. We'll spend 2 command points on this shoot order. This was huge, by the way, for her to get over there. So she's blocking that doorway, So Kendall's definitely not getting to the chem lab this turn because he doesn't have the command points to spend on the movement that he'd need. Great. So 2 for the shoot order. We check line of sight, and of course they're next to each other, so they do have not line of sight. In terms of targeting, so I get 2 dice from her. I get 3 dice over here, and I'm actually gonna roll them all just to make sure. I will probably run out of ammo, but I really need to make sure that I hit them. So I only need 1, and I did get the out of ammo. So I'll pull that, and so I'll be able to do damage, but I need to reload before I use him again. So there's my 5 for targeting, and now I get to go to the damage. So the sniper gives me 2 damage dice, then I'll use my extra command point to give me 1 more. So 3 dice and hoping for some serious damage. Great. 6 damage. So 6 minus the armor value of 2, so 4 damage. So the first one here will get him to flip over. So that's 1 damage, 3 more to go. So we'll flip him over. And he only has 2 health points left, so that'll actually be enough to kill him. Great job. Alright. So Kendall is out of the game. We can remove this card for now, and we'll just put it over here. And the reason why we're going to keep it somewhat nearby is because his card's going to host the items he was holding. So the serum is very important for the NORAD player, and then the key card's also kind of handy. Not really, but kind of. And so Kendall's out of the game, and I will replace his character with a placeholder marker. But for now, I'm just going to tilt him on his side so I don't have to waste time digging for it. So a fantastic turn by Vasquez. She blocked his way in, so he would have made it there this turn for sure. So she blocked that, and she actually killed him. So now, in order for the Salamite player to win, they need to kill all the NORAD players, which is a much more difficult task than just doing a runaway thing. Okay, so for Vasquez now. Wow, I just realized. So back over to Vasquez. 1 more command point on movement. So she comes here, walks over the dead body, picks up the serum and the key card for kicks, which both have 0 weight. So it is within her weight allowance of 4. That's the first movement. 2 are, and actually as I do that first movement, I'm in Hollister's line of sight. However, she's already used all of her stuff. Man, okay, this is going to be a win, guys. So 1 to do the exchange and walk there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'll spend 1 more command point for enough movement to cross the red line. So the NORAD players win. I've played this scenario a few times actually. I kept making too many mistakes for me to post it, but the Salamite players literally won every time except for this time. So kind of excited that the good guys won. Alright, so that's scenario 3. Once again, please give me any feedback that you have to make these scenarios better, to make these walkthroughs better. I'll post scenario 4 within a couple days, and thank you guys so much for watching.